Welcome to another episode of Jewish Softball More Than a Game, where the stories on the diamond go deeper than the box scores. This is our third episode as part of the Shalom Sluggers University segment. I'm your host, Maddie Lewis, joined by my co-host and good friend, Arizona Richie. Today's guest is a Los Angeles native and Notre Dame High School alum who made her mark as both a dominant pitcher and standout student. She's a 3-year varsity letter winner, first team All League honoree, and was recognized by the Los Angeles Daily News as an All LA pitcher, all while also earning all academic honors and spending 4 years in the National Honor Society. Now a freshman at George Fox University, majoring in elementary education, she's also competed internationally with Team Israel for the past 3 years. The moment she's been waiting for. Let's welcome Sarah Jacobs to the show. Thanks for joining, Sarah. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Maddie. How are you?
Doing good. We're just waking up on the West Coast, and Z's already had half her day.
Yep.
But we're excited to have you on the pod. I know you've been waiting for,
This
probably
moment,
probably since like Colorado when you first heard about it last June.
yes, I have
And we're just finally stoked that we were able to make it work. I know we had some scheduling complications prior to this, but
some mental health complications.
yeah, we didn't want to have this podcast without our full 100% energy because we know how much it's going to mean to you.
Thanks, Maddie.
All right, first question. We usually just start from the beginning. So, tell me a little bit about how softball was introduced to your life and like when you kind of realized you wanted to play at the next level, whether that be in travel ball or, like when did you know that you were like, okay, I'm pretty good at this. Like I want to keep playing down the road.
I started playing baseball because my dad played baseball and my mom played softball. So I
Wait,
played
I
both.
don't think I knew
Yeah.
that. You
I
know,
mean,
me and Z
which
played
part?
baseball?
Yeah, I played until I was like, I don't know, like six, not a lot.
Oh, okay.
But were you guys like full on like did you play in high school, Maddie?
I
We
played
did.
my freshman year of high school.
I played until I was like 12.
Wait, that's crazy. I
Yeah.
can't imagine staying there that long.
Sorry, I interrupted. Okay, so started with like T-ball,
Yeah,
right?
I
And
started
then
with t-ball, and then I got tired of being the only girl on the team. And then my mom's like, "Well, let's sign you up for softball." And I started playing softball, and then I just like fell in love with it. I did like other sports in elementary school, but it was those were always just like school sports, not my sport. I played all the positions. I don't know. I loved just playing softball, and then I was just like, okay, well, now the next step is travel ball. Now the next step is just high school. Like it was always never, oh, I want to continue this. It was, what is the next step? And
You're
then
staying very present in the
yeah,
moment.
for sure. And then once I got to travel, I had to choose between catching or pitching, and I chose pitching. And I just,
I feel like that's, sorry for interrupting. I feel like that's different than what I usually hear from maybe you could say people born in 2007.
that's 10
Because,
years later after I was born for
oh
everyone
my,
listening.
and we play on a team together. Okay, but my point was, I feel like the recruiting process was so different for me and Maddie, like without Twitter and stuff. And you're like the first person I've heard that was just like, no, I just like took it as it came. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I think especially like with recruiting, like I did recruiting very late, and I didn't get on like I wouldn't say I got on like a very competitive travel ball team until like my sophomore, junior year of high school,
Mm,
which was later than a lot of people. But I played like my dad was my coach until I was basically a freshman in high school, which I know like isn't normal for a lot of people, but we did like lower level travel ball teams where he would just coach all of us. And it, not to gas him up, but he was a good coach. It wasn't like he was just a dad that continued coaching.
yeah,
So I
that
think
makes
that
sense.
that's why a lot of it was so like family oriented, and it was just kind of like, okay, like it's just a game. Like I get to choose like my positions. Like I don't have to like be serious about this. Like obviously like commit my all to it, which I do have to, but again, it's still a game.
And then you said sophomore year you switched to like a more competitive team.
Yeah. Because my sophomore year, I guess like a little half of my freshman year and then start of my sophomore year, I was on an 18U team when I was like 14. So I got to like play with like a bunch of older girls right before they went to college. And that was like the moment I was like, okay, like this is very competitive. Playing with girls that were like, I guess like now it's kind of the same thing, but like playing with girls 19 years old and then me as like freshly 14.
Yeah, and seeing them like getting ready to go to college for softball for their
Yeah, for
sport.
sure.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I think even to this day, I mean, I've coached you in Colorado, and then, we also played in a tournament together, but I think you still kind of have that same mindset to this day, which I think is like really relieving and kind of fresh for me, like who's just still trying to stay in it. Like you truly just have fun and you don't really let a lot bother you, and you kind of just are in the moment, right? And taking it for what it is. I feel like that's the beauty of our team is like we're all made up of different characteristics and that's why it works and we all have different
And
personalities,
generations.
generations. But I think it's interesting that you said that that's kind of been your MO since you started because I feel like it's still very apparent, which is like very rare in our day and age, especially, having access to social media and seeing what everyone else is up to. I feel like obviously there's a behind the scenes and, we all struggle with our own stuff, but I think it's just really awesome that you kind of are just where your feet are at the moment and take whatever is in front of you and just go with it, go with the flow.
Thanks, Maddie.
Real quick, going off of that, I feel like I view you on our team as like a community builder, like with your TikToks and just like always wanting to get everyone together, asking me every single day to go watch The Summer I Turned Pretty. Like it's just so nice that you want to bring everybody together no matter the age difference and no matter the activity and no matter the setting. So I really like noticed that about you because we kind of just started like playing together and getting to know each other, and that was definitely like one of the first things I noticed. So I appreciate that about you on our team.
Thanks, Arizona.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna take a step back a little bit. You mentioned that you managed like three sports teams in high school, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. What did that entail, and how did you kind of balance playing and managing teams?
Yeah, so I've managed our varsity women's basketball team and then our football team. So it was only two. But I also did like sports med. So that's like how I got into it. My best friend like wanted to be an athletic trainer after high school and like that was like her goal, like that was her future job. And I knew that that was not for me. Always just wanted to be an elementary school teacher. But I was like, well, you're doing it, so like I'll do it with you. So then we would go and like be like water girls for football. And then that just kind of entailed like over the summers, like I don't know, I got my CPR certification, my first aid certification. So I got all that through sports med and it was just every year like that was kind of a set thing. Like we would go over the summers and help out and we would learn how to use AED and like how to help out get people out of pads. And then that just kind of transformed and then we started doing volleyball and basketball and track. Like we did a bunch of different sports and then the girls varsity, like they needed a manager. So I was like, okay, I'll do it. And I just like kept score for them. But it was so fun because like I love like keeping score. Like when we go to Dodger games at home, I always like bring a scorebook like with my grandpa. So it's like now I know how to score another sport.
Once
When you
again, you're just part of the community, and I love it.
I feel like when you have to score a game too, you learn so much more about it. Like, I mean, baseball and softball in itself are like very complex scoring
Mhm.
situations, but I mean, even with when you're around a game long enough, like you kind of pick up on little nuances that like the average viewer or fan wouldn't really pick up on, you know?
Oh, for sure. I feel like I give more errors to people than normal because I'm a
Yeah.
pitcher. So I don't want earned runs for myself. So
Why did you choose pitching over catching, knowing like you're in every single play, right? It's obviously a very pressure-filled position. What kind of drew you to pitching when you first started playing?
what drew me to pitching was like I wanted to be a part of the everyday part of like the every single pitch. Like I wanted to be the person that dictated the game. Chose pitching over catching because I truly just didn't want to be in a squat all game. That was really it.
That's hilarious.
Good answer.
Yeah, I love that
I mean,
answer.
that was truly like pitching or catching. Well, one involves me sitting in a squat all game and one doesn't. So I'll choose the one that
Did you
doesn't.
like catching other than that?
Yeah, I loved catching.
Do you feel like catching made you a better pitcher?
Yeah, for sure.
Or the other way around? I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like catching definitely made me a better pitcher, but it also like helps me like appreciate my catchers more, which obviously I know to appreciate my catchers. Like they're awesome and they do so much work. But after being a catcher, I was like, wow, like that's a lot of work. So I should
Yeah,
appreciate catchers.
it's
And
a lot of
especially doing it
swatting.
now, like not just in rec ball, like now like doing it in like this like such high level. Like it's so much work. So they deserve all their flowers.
Yeah. So at this point, had you been a part of any Team Israel stuff?
No. I knew a little bit about it just because I had older friends that like had like kind of cycled through and my high school coach, his daughter, he mentioned it to me one year and then that next year I was like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do.
You were with Team Israel before you committed, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, so talk to me a little bit about why you chose George Fox and like how's your freshman year going? What's it been like?
Okay, so I chose George Fox because I knew like at first like once I first started the recruiting process, I was like obviously like every single person I feel like is a D1 or bust mentality. Like I don't know, you grow up watching these girls on TV and then you're like, well, this is what I want to do. But then after like actually like, going through the recruiting process and especially like with the transfer portal, so many people weren't recruiting out of high school. And like I'm a pitcher and I like know myself as a pitcher. I don't throw as hard as D1 people do. Like I've never thrown that hard. And I wanted a place where I knew I was gonna play. People were actually gonna like to play softball. Like this wasn't a place where a bunch of people were transfer out. I'm gonna get a new team every year. Their academics here are great, especially for my major. Like they're doing everything great. And then one of my best friends, when I played travel ball, went here. So I went on my visit, I stayed with her. I got to see like the real team and I love it here. And then my freshman year, it's going great. This is a Christian school, so it's definitely a little different. Besides going to chapel, I love it here. The campus is so pretty. It just feels like honestly like an extended high school. Like there's not 30 people. My biggest class, I think, has 20 people in it. All my professors know me by name. They'll see me in campus and stop me like when I'm eating lunch, which I think is a huge part of it, which I love.
So the chapel part, I'm curious. Is that like mandatory chapel
Yeah.
part of your curriculum? Okay. That's so interesting. What was like the thought process in terms of that part of it? Like, was there any discussion or like hesitation in terms of it being, you said Catholic school?
It's Christian a little bit, but
Christian.
I went to a Catholic high school. I didn't think now that after being here for a semester, it's definitely one step up from high school. In LA, basically if you're going to high school, you go to a private school, and all of the private schools are Catholic or most of them are Catholic. And obviously like growing up in LA, like it's so diverse that we had so many Jewish kids like in our class. Like our biggest population at our school was Jewish kids because we're in LA. But
Wow.
now like coming here, like all of my friends, like I'm the only Jewish person that they know. So I like explain everything to them and like holidays and they ask me questions, but they truly have like no idea about anything. But I think that just from going from a Catholic high school, I was like, well, I don't the Christian school isn't going to be that different. And it's kind of nice seeing everybody like you said, like with like the team and like community, like a lot of my friends, like they're all like faith-based. So it's very nice like seeing all of them and that's like how like they like fill their cup and that's what their like main priority is. So it's nice seeing that.
I also find all religions very interesting and all faiths very interesting. Like,
Yeah.
I studied abroad in Rome, and like obviously that's a very Christian Catholic society, but I always have been so intrigued with going into churches and just like I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm interested in other parts of life and trying to like gain as much knowledge and understanding of like other walks of life. So I think I've always been like very intrigued with like that side of, other individuals' lives and whatnot. Not that we all come from the same ideologies, but a lot of it overlaps. And I think it's
Yeah,
really cool. Like the more that you learn about Judaism and the more that you learn about Christianity, like there is a lot of, blurred lines of like what the beliefs are. So I
yeah,
think
And like overlapping morals and like fundamental, like be a good person
for
beliefs.
sure.
Yeah.
definitely. What's been the biggest adjustment from high school to college? And what's been different that like you didn't expect? Like what's been kind of like oh, I didn't know that was gonna happen.
In
Or I
terms of
didn't
life or
expect
like softball.
I guess both.
Okay. In life, I think it's truly just like being independent. I know that's like a very like easy answer, but I don't know. I grew up my house, like we're all like very close. I still talk to my mom like 100 times a day, but there's always something going on in our house. We had 5 dogs at home, so I was never alone. So I think the biggest adjustment was coming up here and like actually like being alone for the first time. Like I've never just like been in like obviously like I had a room at home, but I never like truly been alone. Like my roommate works, so I get a lot of time like where I'm just like sitting here alone. I'm like, what do I do with my time?
Do you feel like you're enjoying that? Is it refreshing or are you struggling with that?
First semester I was definitely struggling because I'm like, this is like so like boring. Like I literally have so much hours to do nothing. And like I would get like my homework done and I'm like, okay, now what? And I'll just like sit here. I'm like, this is like so bad. And then I would always like text my friends, like, what are you guys doing something? And obviously, yes, they're doing something. It's just me. And then, but now like I'm getting more used to like having like productive alone time where it's not just me doing homework, but I can do things for me that I don't need to do with other people, which I think is great. I'm learning how to be alone, basically.
Yeah, that's a super healthy skill and learning how to enjoy alone time. Just like you said, like it doesn't have to be this is when I do my homework. Like you can do stuff to fill your cup too which is nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's also just part of college and growing up. Like, I don't know, I maybe enjoy being alone too much, but
You are very comfortable being alone.
yeah, I don't know, just
Well,
like,
you grew up just like one brother.
yeah.
Wait,
And then,
you have one sister, Sarah?
Yeah.
Oh,
but I didn't have any pets like Sarah did.
yeah.
And I feel like I wasn't alone too much in high school because I was always playing sports. Like Arizona said, just like figuring out how to be alone is like all part of college and like it's part of kind of the process you're supposed to go through and finding things that you enjoy that you didn't know existed because you have extra time to kind of explore and figure it out.
Yeah, exactly.
What's it been like traveling with the team and playing and has any of that sort of been a little bit different than what you expected or is it just the same game on a different level?
A little bit of both. Like it definitely is just like the same game on a different level. Just obviously like everything moves faster. Everything is very like I can tell that like I'm not in high school. Like this is a college program. But then also like with traveling, my oh gosh, I don't know. My team is a mess when we travel. Like I'm like sitting here like we're in the airport and we have like lost IDs, like people lose their wallet. Like a 1 hour to the from the bus to the airport turns into like a 3 hour spectacle. But
Oh my God, your coaches must be losing their minds.
yes, our team does not know how to travel. But besides that, like at least when we bus, like busing is so much fun. Like I never got to like obviously like we bus to games in high school, but nothing like an 8 hour road trip. Like
Yeah.
that is was so much fun. I love just being with my team. I was like, wow, like I've never
Where's your favorite place you've been so far?
we don't travel too much. We went to Florida over spring break. That was so much fun.
Ooh,
That's far.
Yeah,
yeah.
that was like our big travel trip.
Wow.
Here we get one big travel trip. So we went to Florida and that was awesome. And then
Nice.
because we got to play a lot of like ranked teams, we got to be in like a big like Disney house. Like all of our rooms were themed. And I thought that
Oh,
was
that's cool.
and then we went to Spokane, like in Washington. Most of our games were in Washington and then here. And then we have a couple like in the preseason we'll go to California. So that was nice getting to see my family.
Yeah. How far are you from home?
It's like a 2.5 hour, 3 hour flight.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's not too bad.
You're in Oregon, right? Like middle of Oregon or is it like more towards the north?
I'm more north.
More north. Okay,
We're
so
like an hour from Portland, and then Portland, the Washington border is like 45 minutes.
so it's
Okay.
probably similar from like I don't know, I might botch this, but like
Yeah, let's see what you're gonna say.
New York to like South Carolina. Is that far?
Yeah.
It's more than a 3 hour flight.
No.
Oh, okay. So yeah.
Oh, I was thinking driving.
Oh, that's a drive. That is a long drive. Like it's already 9 hours to get down to so well, maybe like 6 hours. I
Well,
guess
it like turns into 9 hours.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay, well then that's from New York to South Carolina could be like 9 or 10 hours
Let's
driving.
go.
I've never flown there though, so
Oh, you drive always.
yeah.
I see.
But I've never driven from New York to South Carolina. I drive from Virginia to South.
Okay. Same idea.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let Z jump back into her Israel discussion because
Yeah, sorry, I jumped the gun.
no, I pivoted too fast for you. But yeah,
No,
go
it's
ahead.
okay.
Go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to see if I was getting the timeline right, since
Fair.
like we were saying, like you did
I
start
always forget, sorry, before I interrupt you again, I always forget that like, well, for me at least, it was like high school, college, then Team Israel. Like I always
same.
forget
That's
that
why I was
Israel
asking
is
early.
like
Yeah.
kind of it should be mixed in before. That's the
Yes.
goal, right? Yeah.
Exactly. That's why I jumped the gun because I know our experience was probably different than '07 over here.
I
But
like that. I'm gonna call you that now.
'07,
Oh
007?
seven.
Okay. One of my friend's
Ooh.
dads calls my dad that I played rec ball with and was like, you have to, it was Narissa's dad, called my dad and was like, you need to do this over the summer. And I was like, okay. And then we did Colorado for 2 or 3 years. I honestly can't remember. I think it was two, maybe three. I just said that.
And is
I
Maddie
just,
in the picture at this point?
no.
Okay.
The third year.
Well, yeah, but now she is. Then we did it the next year, and then Maddie was in the picture.
Yeah, it wasn't until probably her third year.
Yeah,
Okay.
my senior year. That was so fun. And then it just kind of like kept moving up. And then my senior year, I got my citizenship over summer. And I skipped.
How was that experience? Did you go
It
by
was
yourself?
I went with my dad. It was a little crazy because we
Wait,
started
I've heard about your experience, but tell me again.
we were supposed to go over summer. I was supposed to go with Sydney over summer, but then the day before we left, my flight got canceled because of the war, and Sydney was already there. And then I ended up the only other time that we could go was right after Canada. We literally flew home for one like 12 hours, and then we
I
went
remember
straight.
that.
Yeah. So it was Colorado straight for Canada, and then we went home for one day, and then we left.
And was anybody else in Israel with you? Like other than your dad?
Mm-mm. No, it was just my dad. It was just us two.
Dang, that's crazy. And
Yeah.
then now here we are.
Yeah. I know going to Israel is great. It was so much fun. I would love to go back and like actually like do Israel just as like a vacation and not as
Right.
yeah.
Same. I've only been that one time for citizenship. It was for like almost a month though. But yeah, I also want to go back where we're not like stressed about
Exactly.
getting to
There's not an
play
agenda.
in 1 week. Yeah.
But I'll go back like whenever my sister gets it, whenever she does that, we'll go back and make it a vacation.
Oh, that's cool.
Hopefully.
Your sister plays softball too?
Yeah, she's 12. So we're going
Okay.
to Italy this year. Did you know my dad is coaching the Italy team? The 13-year-olds?
He's probably gonna love that.
Oh
Oh my
yes.
God, that's amazing.
Yeah, I'm so excited for her. And Jessie
My
was at the winter camp and it was like I was like, Jessie, like it's okay, like you're gonna be okay. 'Cause she didn't know anyone. And obviously like I had friends because I had been doing it for a couple years. And I was like, Jessie, like you're gonna be fine. And she ended up loving it. And then now she gets to go to Italy. And I was like, I'm glad that she's starting so young because I wish I like started this when I was younger.
me too.
Same.
Because now like when Jessie's my age, oh, how long have you been doing this? Oh, like 10 years. Wow.
10 years, and imagine where the program's gonna be by then.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that's
crazy.
really cool.
What's been your proudest moment on the field so far?
Of myself? Oh, shoot. With Team Israel? Or
Anything.
I don't know. I can't really think of like right this second. One
I
like
have
big
one.
okay.
What
Go.
about when you went up against Team Italy?
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say that.
Walk me through that, like your mindset then. I mean, you're playing an Olympic, literally Olympians. And
Um,
this is what, maybe like your second time
yeah,
throwing on the national team?
yeah.
What was going through your head?
I mean, truly nothing. I was like, I knew if I thought too hard about it, I was gonna do awful. So
Yeah,
I was like, you know what, Sarah, like you get this opportunity, just pitch the ball. Like you know how to pitch, just do that. And I was like, I knew that obviously like those games were so crazy. Like I'd never
yeah.
really experienced anything like that in my entire life.
I feel like part of the mindset, honestly, when I play them too, is like we're not supposed to do well, so let's
Yeah.
just fucking go.
Well, I think it was just like half of the girls that were on that team, like I watched on TV when I was younger.
Yeah,
So I was
That's
like,
cool.
I know, I was like, this is so cool that I get to do this.
yeah,
I was like, should just like think about it as that. Like you get to like go through the game and like screenshot a picture of you like pitching against these people.
yeah. And I feel like that's the point where you go back to your original mindset of like, this is just a game, and it's so full circle because they were just literally in my living room a couple years
Exactly.
ago. And because this is just a game, I now get to like play them, which is insane.
Yeah. And it wasn't so much of like, I'm so nervous, where it's like, well, like we are just on the same level. Like there is a way that we are playing them. So like we are on the same level. I don't know. I thought it was so cool. I wrote it on my
Yeah,
wristband somewhere in my bag. There's like wristband. I was like, well, I get to pitch against them. So like if I need a deep breath, that's what that says.
yeah,
Yeah, that's amazing. I even feel that way, and some of them are younger than me.
same.
But I think there was like a pretty big crowd that game. Like I didn't process that there was like a huge crowd until like after the game was over, which I think is good. Just like because kind of Z's point, you just kind of show up and like treat it as a normal game, you know?
I don't remember anything. I'm pretty sure I have like softball amnesia.
Oh, I
Like,
remember. I was looking around and I was like, oh my gosh, because I was pitching and all these little kids. It was like game that all those little kids are they're all shouting for Italy. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, it's like, why is there so many children here? And I look around, I was like, wow, like every single stand is filled.
don't remember. Don't remember anything. You guys will say specifics about the game, and I'm like, no idea.
See,
I
I
think
like
that's also pictures though. Like Robin remembers everything also.
I remember everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like on the field, you have to like take your moments to zone out. You know what I mean? Do you do that, Maddie?
Oh yeah, a little bit.
Like, because you have to be
Like
so locked in, like every
yeah.
pitch, that it's like you have to take those tiny pockets where you can just like not think about anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. In college, I remember doing that more, maybe because it was like more of a constant. Now it's like,
Yeah.
now I'm just like, oh my God,
Yeah.
I'm still
I
playing,
agree.
you know?
I agree. I feel like I am, yeah, now that you say that, more locked in for the entire experience for Team Israel than the entire college season.
Hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I feel like I'm like locked in every pitch. I'm like, oh
Yeah,
shoot.
well, like you can't.
Yeah.
Because when we're zoning out is like right after you just threw a pitch and nothing happened.
Yeah.
And that's when you're like, oh shit, like what am I supposed like what do I have to do now? But we're like this.
Yeah,
Like
Zia
you
will
have to
look
be
at
thinking
me
every
and be
time.
like,
But yeah,
or we'll be like, dude, that one got me on my groin.
yeah, no, that's usually what we're saying. We're like, oh God, giving out.
Yeah.
Good.
No, but also it's like fun, I feel like, to just like obviously you're not zoning out like an idiot, but like I don't know. I have the most fun playing when I'm like interacting with my team in between those moments of like playing. So
Oh, playing with Team Israel is like the most fun I've ever had playing softball ever.
yeah, yeah.
Like obviously with the national team, like, yes, of course, 100%. But like when we were in Colorado and Maddie was coaching us, like it truly like it felt like rec ball.
That's so nice.
Like it was so much fun. Like I
Not
don't think
because
I've
of our
experienced that.
expectations and me and Robin's coaching abilities, but because of the environment.
Wait, I didn't mean it like that.
I was just clarifying for the listeners.
That's funny.
We're running it back again if anyone wants to fly out and support.
Do you mean
Me
me
and
and
Robin are
Sarah?
coaching again.
Yeah,
What'd you say?
anyone has to.
I said, oh, do you mean if anyone is in me and Sarah?
Or any fans.
Oh, yeah.
Any Team
I
Israel
forgot
fans.
about the fans.
We have a lot of them.
Yeah, I would be down.
No,
I
you
might
have
get,
too many things going on, Z.
I was
No.
just about to say, I might get fired by then for taking too much PTO. So
You can take a leave of absence.
I would love to take a leave of absence.
These are
Except
the
I'd
things you
also
have to
get
look
fired.
forward to, Sarah, once you graduate. So just stay in school as long as you can, '07.
Oh, 7. Wait, has anybody seen,
Are you about to talk about Grey's Anatomy?
no,
Oh, okay, that's what I thought you were gonna say.
but I hear you and I see you on that as well.
I don't.
Yeah, Maddie doesn't. Okay, has anybody seen Billy Madison?
Adam Sandler, yeah?
Yeah.
Is that the
Oh,
one where he like goes back
thank
to high school?
Yeah, and
Okay.
there's that part Maddie just reminded me of where he grabs that kid by his face and he goes, "Stay in school." No,
I think I
just
that clip.
imagined Maddie doing to your face. I need Adam Sandler to see this pod.
We should tag him.
Yeah,
I mean, he's Jewish, so
and I know it. Are there
okay.
any
Just-
last words
I
you
have
want
one
to
last
say?
question,
Yeah,
Okay.
go for it.
and then we can see if Ari can hop on. What made you want to become an elementary school teacher?
Well, my dad's a teacher, first of all. And just seeing like every year when I was out of school and he wasn't, I would go into his classroom every year and like help him pack up and just like seeing the way that he interacted with the kids, like seeing the lives that he's changed, I was like, wow, I really want to do this. And I knew I
That's
wanted to
so
teach,
cute.
I knew I wanted to teach elementary school because I don't want to do one subject and teach it 5 times a day, like teach the same lesson. I was like, yeah, that's too boring. And like actually like make an impact with the kids because like everything you do in elementary school is pretty much prevalent throughout your entire life. So I would love to do.
Yeah, and you get to have like that class the whole year.
Exactly. And you truly get to
Yeah.
see like how like the kids grow throughout.
Yeah, that's really sweet.
Yeah.
That'd be a perfect segue if he can hop on.
Hello, Dad.
Maddie, do you want to guess what he's gonna say when he gets on the pod?
What's up, beasts?
Yeah, and then he's gonna say something about how our names start with the same letter.
Oh, for you. Yeah.
Yeah, but definitely, what's up, beast?
Just tell him we want to say hi. I tried to get LA tickets. Did you get any?
No, I applied for it and then I totally forgot that I did that.
It was impossible, but also we're gonna be in the Olympics anyway, so
Exactly.
they were going, I'm not even kidding. My dad and I were trying to go, or like my family was trying to go watch the swimming. It was $4,000 for a ticket.
But
But we're gonna be in
fucking
Oklahoma City,
yeah.
Yes, we are.
which is also a topic of debate for another time. Anyways, I know Arizona's got to jump off, but any last words?
Thanks for having me on, guys. I
Yeah,
was
this
been
was
very
so
looking
lo-
at this.
Yay. Was it everything did it live up to expectations?
Of course it did.
Great. I'm so glad. This was very lovely. It actually felt like a FaceTime,
Yeah,
you
like
know?
we're just catching up.
Yeah.
That's good because that's what I thought it was.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, thanks for coming on, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay, thanks, guys. I miss you.
Bye. Miss you too.